"Oh my god, this guy's bleeding, someone call an ambulance." And the attacker runs off. The pain shoots through you, but you're able to stay standing on your 2 feet. However, Natalie, you just catch a glimpse of what happens to Joe, to your side before an arm is wrapped around you and you are walked towards a car that is parked directly outside the casino. Someone is effectively dragging you along with their body weight.
Let me go! Stop!
You're not going anywhere. You ain't going anywhere.
Let me go!
I take a moment to recover from the shock and a little surprise, because being stabbed these days really doesn't hurt as much as it used to.
A woman runs up to you. "Oh my gosh, are you okay?"
I kind of push her away and start looking around. Where's Natalie?
John!
You can see her being dragged into a car.
I make my way to the car. I'm looking around. How many people are watching?
A good dozen, if not more.
Fuck!
Security from the casino now is running over to you. "Did you see who attacked you?"
That car! You idiots! Fuck, stop that car!
Let me go!
As you argue with security, Natalie, are you fighting to get away?
Oh yeah, I am. I'm biting, scratching, pushing, everything I can.
Strength and brawl, please.
Yeah, I get 0 success.
You are bundled heavily into the car. Lucky that you're not overtaken with a ravenous hunger just from the potent blood that's been dropped. Very near you, it does catch in the roof of your mouth as the door slams and the car screeches its tires as it tries to speed away. John, what are you going to do?
I try my best to barrel towards that car. If anyone tries to help me, I just push them away and I just barrel full strength towards that car, blood still ever so slightly spilling from my side.
I'm going to ask you to do a dexterity and athletics, please. I'm going to apply a 1 die penalty because of the wound that's currently in your side.
That is a bestial failure. No successes and 1 skull.
As you see the car tear away, a number of thoughts flash through your mind. You're alone. You're without allies. You are without family. You are a failure. All these people standing around, some pointing in horror, some pointing in amazement. How is this man still standing? He has 3 or 4 stab wounds in his lower back. You can hear screams. No, the screams are inside your head now. The screams of everyone you have ever hurt, and your eyes are coated with a red film. You need to let the beast out. And there is a small crowd of people there just waiting for your anger to consume them.
No, I can't hear. I need to... I look for an alleyway, a dark corner, anywhere I can just bolt into. I can't be in front of a crowd of people.
There is no alley. You are in front of a well-lit casino. It's this, or you're essentially running your way into the ocean.
That would look even fucking worse. Is there a sewer grate?
You are not going to have the manual dexterity or strength of mind to stop and lift a sewer grate. It's into the crowd, into the casino, or into the ocean with you. You could try running along the road, you could try running into the traffic, but that may not help calm your mood or lead to your good health.
The only thing I can think of, the only aspect of any of my discipline that still remains before I lose it, is to just stagger towards that ocean, clutch my side, probably not putting on a very realistic show, but then again, people often look past things that seem unreal when something like this is happening, and I just fall into the water.
You hear an "oh my gosh" as you splash into the water. Once you're beneath the surface, Your arms, they rack around your body and splay out, your legs kicking, your body thrashing. You're wrestling with your beast that wants to claw its way to the surface and rip someone's throat out. And the one sane part of you, the one vestigial part of rationality that keeps you under the surface of the water, is like you're fighting yourself. It's like you're struggling to drown yourself, to drown the beast that's inside you.
And now I'm under the water. I don't care anymore. Part of me wants to get out of the water. It wants to take whoever the fucker was who just did that, rip his head off. Fuck. And I thrash and I wail around and I claw at the dirt of the sea, and I barely even acknowledge that I should be drowning under the water. But I don't, because I'm dead.
To your horror, someone dives into the water beside you. Some well-meaning Good Samaritan is trying to save you. And that beast is still on the surface for you. You see the legs come through the body. You see a man take his spectacles off. He clearly forgot to before he jumped into the water. He's that consumed with the idea of saving your life that he removes his glasses once he's under there, and his eyes make contact with you. And you don't know whether there's something about your appearance right now that completely belies the fact that you are consumed by a monster. But he sees it, and immediately he tries to swim up to the surface. I would like you to do a resolve plus composure roll, please. You attempt to restrain yourself, but do you succeed?
2 successes.
One arm snatches towards his leg. The other, quite literally, pulls it back towards your chest as you sink like a stone and rest on the seabed, closing your eyes, rocking backwards and forwards as well as you're able beneath the water, hoping, wishing this pain would go away.
I'm so goddamn hungry right now. I'd love to just eat. Fuck.
Meanwhile, Natalie. You didn't recognize him immediately when he grabbed you. But now that you're in the back of the car with him, you recognize the man with grey hair that seized you and threw you in as, surprise, surprise, one of Sammy G's favourite men. Fabian. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt
What
you.
the fuck do you want from me? Don't touch me!
He
Don't
shouts
touch
at the
me.
driver. Keep driving. Keep driving. Don't listen to her. Sammy just wants a word with you. And he smiles.
I don't want a word with Sammy.
Well, you don't have the choice. His hands are up. I'm not going to hurt you. He will hurt me if I hurt you. But these doors are locked. You're not getting out. You're not getting out. You just calm yourself. Put your seatbelt on. Calm yourself. Make yourself beautiful as a mirror. Sammy will see you soon. You know, when he heard that you were coming down to Atlantic City with a new boyfriend, he was hurt.
What? A new boyfriend?
Oh, we all heard about what happened in the Dreaming Tree, Donatello's place, that you were there with this Puttanesca clown, and that he was talking about the two of you going on a helicopter ride. It was all Sammy could do to not go to that place himself and start tearing the place apart. But no, word reached him, and he sent some of us down here.
And he decided to kidnap me because that's the natural thing to do.
Listen.
What is wrong with you?
You weren't returning calls, you constantly refused to just... and Mowbray punk didn't want to let him meet you. So he did what he had to do.
He did what he had to do. This is fucking nuts. Let me go. Just open the door, let me go. I promise I won't tell anyone. I won't call the police. Just let me go. Please, let me go.
His friendly veneer completely drops. I ain't letting you go.
Please.
You ain't going anywhere except where we take you.
I don't want. Please, you don't understand.
Oh, you can tell him that yourself.
Can I, owe you a boon or something? A favor?
No. I don't truck in the same kind of currency that you do, I'm sorry. I'm Sammy's guy, and it is what it is, right?
A, panic spreads throughout my body. I haven't felt this way in a long time, and I haven't felt the need to unleash some of the things that my current sire taught me. But I have no choice left. He's always told me that I should only use this in situations where I'm in danger. And that is now. I feel a darkness inside of me. A darkness that cannot be contained by any means. It's such a deep and strong connection with Oblivion that it affects the world around me. And I can almost feel it seeping through my skin. I can almost feel it dripping on the car floor. You can't see it, but I can feel it. So I'd like to activate my Aura of Decay, which is my level 3 of Oblivion.
Mm-hmm. You hear the guy next to you, Fabian. You hear Fabian suddenly choke. Jesus, what's that smell?
Let me go.
As he puts his hand to his nose and mouth, he takes his fingers away from his skin, and you actually see skin flaking off of his face. Where he's touching it. Fuck. The car seat around you is putrefying into a mulch. The glass of the car windows is starting to spiderweb with cracks. The carpet at your feet is aging rapidly. And as he touches his face, every single time he touches himself, it's more of this skin is coming away. It's not coming away in thick layers. It's just flaking and looking sore, red and open. Fuck!
I told you to let me go.
Jesus Christ! I
told you!
The driver pulls over to a rapid halt. What the fuck is going on back there? He turns around with a pistol pointed at you. You're gonna stop whatever shit you're doing. I'm gonna put a bullet square between those eyes. And he, with his other hand, taps you hard on the forehead.
I can't,
You're gonna stop it now, or I am gonna fucking blow your brains out, and we'll just tell Sammy we found you this way.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, shoot her! Just shoot her!
I'm gonna stop. So I'm gonna try to... Well, I'm gonna stop using my ability, basically.
Stopping the Aura of Decay doesn't stop the damage that's already done, of course. It doesn't reverse anything. But very quickly, Fabian realizes that the skin on his face is no longer just falling off to the touch, and that his hand, while sore and mottled isn't getting any worse either. Jesus, why the fuck does he want anything to do with you?
You look like shit.
Just drive. Let's get her to where she needs to go. Let's get to a fucking chemist's. Jesus Christ.
Did it hurt? You shithead! Don't ever touch me again! Ever!
He glares at you, his eyes bloodshot, but also afraid. Yeah, I'm never gonna touch you again. If ever I see you again, I don't care what Sammy tells me. You're fucking dead. You're dead meat.
Sure.
You understand that? Yeah.
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 Sure.
You're fucking walking biohazard.
Yeah, that's what they call me. Hope you enjoy this scarration for life.
The car pulls up. You're outside a place that's well, it's pretty classy. It's a restaurant with a doorman. It looks like it's part of a larger hotel. Fabian tells the driver to unlock the doors. I'll take her in. He doesn't point his gun at you. You haven't even seen if Fabian has one. But he does nod. I swear if you try pulling anything, I will shoot you dead in the street. I will shoot that doorman so there ain't no witnesses, and we will drive off into the night. So you and I are gonna walk into that restaurant. I'm gonna sit you down with Sammy, and then I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Despite of Natalie's cocky demeanor, she can't hide that she's afraid. She's afraid of Sammy. She's afraid of what's going to happen now. And she gets out of the car.
Good girl. Right. He staggers slightly as he gets to his feet. Ah! Jesus, my legs. The doorman on the restaurant frowns with concern but doesn't say anything. What you looking at? The doorman pointedly looks the other way. Fabian walks toward the restaurant door, opens it, gestures for you to enter.
And I enter.
He has a brief talk with the maitre d'. It looks quite terse. The maitre d' points toward a booth near the back of the restaurant. Sammy's over there, you can go and see him. I'm not taking you all the way to the table. I'm not letting people see me looking like this. Fabian was quite a handsome guy before you got to him.
I don't feel like I have a choice, so I'm gonna walk over to Sammy's booth apprehensively.
You see him sitting there. His back is to the door, but you see the back of his head. He's on his phone, messaging someone by the look of it.
I stop and look at him, and it's like flashbacks from lost times just overtakes my entire thought process, and I almost can't get myself to take the next step. I just stand there and look at him.
You hear his phone go off. He swipes. And then he turns around. I just got a message saying you'd be here. Sit down. You're causing a scene.
I think I destroyed your ghoul.
Sit down. Remember who made you, huh?
Sammy, what do you want? I'm still standing up.
All I want to do is talk with you. Okay? Is that too much to ask? I made you, and you've been doing nothing but giving me the silent treatment. We were tight. Back in the good old days.
We were never tight, Sammy.
You were tight.
Just stop. You're being lewd and uncomfortable, and I want to leave.
Sit your ass down. I don't want to make this any more painful than it has to be. You know, my daddy said you should get lawyers involved, and I said no. Natalie and I can handle this like adults.
Lawyers involved? So you're gonna tell the lawyers that, oh, I made this girl into a vampire? That makes sense.
You shut your mouth and sit your ass down.
I'm gonna sit down.
You know, if there's one thing I can't brook, it's a girl that doesn't know when to keep her mouth shut or when to open it.
So why are you so fascinated with me?
Well, I always liked how defiant you were. Because you lost a lot of that spirit after what happened between us. But, I don't know. You always seem to get it back when my name gets dropped, so I guess there's some attraction still there between us.
That's what hatred does.
Not much of a dividing line between hatred and one true love.
Sure, Sammy.
And you feel a thump into your back, another thump into your back, as the goateed man is trying to drive something between the backs of your ribs, but is not finding any purchase. You hear him snarl, "This guy's tough." What do you do, Ray?
Do I still feel like I have possession of my physical body? Can I move?
You can. You can try and wrench yourself away from this.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't think I'll be successful. I'm going to instead pivot on my way and swing. I'll try to use her as the pendulum to my clock and swing her around in a circle behind me and try to swing her into whoever and whatever is behind me trying to hit me in the back.
You do so. You manage to lift her from her feet, much to her surprise, as if her eyes could become even wider in their frames, and lurch her towards him. She crashes into his body. She doesn't let go of you, but he stumbles. The thing that was thumping into your back, amazingly to you, he was trying to stab you. And while you were in some kind of undead shock from what she was doing, you simply didn't feel the blade penetrating your skin. But now you're aware he was trying to reach your heart. He was trying to stake you as she was doing whatever the hell kind of oblivion-fueled power she was using to you. "Make this easy!" She squeezes your hands even tighter. The pain inside you now is unlike anything you have ever experienced or even dreamt of experiencing. You've heard the tales, of course, you've even seen some of these practices enacted by your cousins, by distant relations, but it's never been your field of interest. It's never been something that you've ever wanted to dabble in, and you're having it practiced on you, some dark necromancy, and you're not even sure to what end or why she is doing this to you.
Can I make a sound? Can I cry out?
You can indeed.
Okay. So the first sound is ah! The second sound is Maria!
Maria, you hear this.
Well, I spring into action right away.
As you find yourself sprinting towards the office, you find yourself tripped and you fall flat onto the ground, but there was nothing there. You were sure there was nothing there, and you're not so clumsy as to trip over some piece of machinery, but that's when you just about make it out. That's when you just about see it. There is something ectoplasmic. There is something vaguely incorporeal, grasping your ankle that snatched your leg as you try to run and pulls you up, landing firmly on your front and your cheekbones smacking into the stone.
So I try to engrave that into my memory, but right now, that's not my main focus. I need to get to Raymond as soon as possible. Is it moving? Do I still see it?
You feel it pulling on you. It's not terribly strong. You'd think the only reason it managed to make you trip was because you didn't see it coming. You could probably pull your leg free with a bit of effort.
Then I will try to do that. I am in a bit of a hurry after all.
You wrench your leg out from its ethereal grasp, and after a few seconds of embarrassing crawl, you're back on your feet and charging towards the office, where you can see the guy who ushered you in has been knocked almost completely to the floor. He's on one knee, pulling himself up. Ray appears to be in some kind of twisted dance with a wizened, withered old woman. From what you can see, they are literally spinning each other around while holding each other by the hands. It would be comical if Ray wasn't screaming in absolute terror and pain. Ray, what do you do?
Do I think I can break her grip on me? Or do I think that she's stronger than I am?
Right now, your confidence isn't high, but it's either that or going back to the old standard of you've got your eyes locked with hers, command her to release you. It may work, you don't know.
It's worth a try. I'll do my best to draw myself up to my full height despite the awkward physical altercation that I'm in. Lock her eyes with mine and snarl, "Release me, bitch." Let me roll some dice. Well, 3 successes. This seems like worth taking some temporary damage to willpower to re-roll the 2 failed dice. Still only 3.
Unbelievably, surprisingly, she releases with a shriek.
Whoa, hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
The blood smears on your hands. The pain inside you is still present. You're still racked, almost doubled over with it, but she's no longer holding on to you. Maria, you close the gap into the doorway, where the guy with his goatee is, much like you were a second ago, trying to crawl away.
From looking at the scene, can I, deduce which threat is the most obvious to me right now that I need to neutralize?
Well, the guy is closer, but neither of them are attacking you. You hear him say, oh god, he's coming. He's coming right now."
Okay, that's a bit suspicious. I head over to the guy, and I grab him by his shoulders and push him against the wall. Who's coming?
The Yardie, the Labango, he's not gonna be happy to see the both of you are still up and walking around. Listen, if you let me go, I can hold him off.
Yeah, right.
You hear the door that you entered through to the exterior slam open and a steady march of feet. And you hear a voice cry out, "Where is he? Where is Melina?"
I take the guy that I'm holding and I toss him in the direction of the voice.
Your potence is great enough that you can make him take to the air, and he shoots over the top of one of the tumble dryers, crashing to the ground. You hear the voice shout out again, "That way, but leave the man for me." A small gang of, you count them up, 7 young men and women clad in gang colours, armed with guns, pointing in your direction, and they just start opening fire.
Instincts say that I should dodge behind the closest thing.
The closest thing is the wall to the office, although this office wasn't built to withstand gunfire. And of course, Raymond is still in the doorway.
Shout, get down? At least it's better to take some cover than to just be sprayed with all of the bullets.
Hey, yeah, Maria knows best. Down I go.
Ray, you collapse to the ground again. The pain has not dissipated. Emphasizing, once again, this is completely new to you since becoming undead. A lasting agony like this. It's in a way refreshing at the same time as being utterly terrible. You feel some of the bullets smack into your flesh, and Maria, you feel the same as you hunker down behind the wall, although they don't get too deep. You don't think they're going to let up. You could run in the same direction as Miss Strand, but they're not going to stop emptying their guns. Look, I know there's been differences, you and I hear you in town with some new beau, and I guess I should be over the moon that you've found someone that isn't that ghastly Mowbray guy. But I ain't. What I did some soul searching. I realized, no, I'm not ready for you to move on.
You're not ready for me to move? Okay, first of all, he is not my boyfriend. He is a business associate. I'm traveling with him. With a group, actually.
A business associate? What are you doing? Dealing drugs or chopping up bodies? I didn't realize you were in any other kind of business.
That's none of your business. At all. You don't owe me. You're not a part of my life anymore, Sammy. Okay? I've told you that several times. That's why I'm ignoring you. Ignoring all of your messages and phone calls. That's why I'm fucking buried underground. To get away from you.
So you're telling me you came all the way to Atlantic City to get away from me, is that it?
I'm not gonna tell you what I'm doing here because it's none of your business.
I think it is my business, because if it's family business, it's my business. I'm a part of the family as well. And irrespective of whatever differences we might have, I'm still a part of your family. So let's be open with each other. Maybe I can help you. Maybe I can make you realize I ain't such a bad guy after all.
Well, I don't want your help, Sammy.
The waiter approaches the table. Ah, yeah, the lady would love a cocktail. I think she would like sex on the beach.
I don't want anything.
The lady would like sex on the beach. I'll just have a scotch, whatever the best is. I tell the waiter that I don't even know anything about whiskey. Anyway.
I know you don't.
So why are you here?
It's none of your business.
You keep telling me that, but I keep telling you it is my business. So why are you here?
Sammy, what's gonna happen if I get up and leave, huh? Are you gonna kill me? Are you gonna get one of your goons to kill me?
No, I ain't gonna kill you. But here's what will happen. Back in New York, there are rules where Mowbray was owed a favor by a member of the family, and it was whatever the newest fledgling came along would enter his stewardship, that kind of thing. And so you're under his protection while you're there, right? Well, we ain't in New York. We're in Atlantic City. And last I heard, the Giovanni in charge here disappeared. So there ain't no rules. I can take you, lock you up, make you mine, do whatever the fuck I want to you. And ain't nobody's gonna stop me, because my people will send word back to Mowbray and Donatello and all the rest that you died or you went walking off into the sun. If we want to keep you here, we can do it, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. So, I ask you again, what are you doing in Atlantic City? And if you don't think I'm for real, just spend a single night with me and I'll show you how fucking real I am. How real the threats I'm making are.
Okay, I'm here with someone named John and Ray and Maria, and we are we're looking into a case. I don't honestly know much about it. I was just sent here by my sire because he thought that...
I'm your sire.
I was sent here because Mowbray thinks that I needed to be more acclimated to social culture.
Well, that old bastard got something right.
Natalie is suddenly feeling the fears that she did way back when she first met Sammy. That intimidation. He's trying to keep it away from her, but she can't. She's scared, and she is doing a bad job at hiding it. Please don't hurt me, Sammy. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to get back into that world again.
I am not going to hurt a single hair on your head as long as you do what I tell you to.
Okay.
And I've always loved the hairs on your head. Every single one of them. Back when you used to pass out on the bed, I would just count them all. I'd just stare at your eyelashes, watching them flutter away as you were going through such a high. Anywho, so you're here with Ray and Maria John on a mission.
Yeah.
Well, big question. What's the mission?
As I said, I don't know anything about it really. I just was sent here to help, and that's it.
So they dragged a special cousin out on a day trip.
I guess.
Well, Natalie, what we are going to do is we're going to enjoy a nice meal, or pretend to. We're going to chat. We'll have a talk about old times, and I think by the end of it you'll realize that you like me a little more than you thought you did. And maybe I can help you and your friends out. Again, to show that I'm not such a bad guy. See, I know some of what goes on in Atlantic City. I've got some suppliers down here.
Why do you want to help me?
Because you're going to do something for me.
What's that?
You know how it works? Tit for tat. And you got a fantastic pair of tats.
Sammy, please.
Natalie, what you're going to do is you're going to drink a mouthful of my vitae, as they call it.
I'm not doing that.
If you do that, I will no longer be up in your grill. If you do that, I will help you with whatever it is you're doing down here so you can earn favor with Mowbray and whatever old fuck in New York gives a shit about you. If you do that, I know that you ain't gonna disobey me again, which means when I do need you for something, you'll feel more inclined to do what your sire tells you to do.
You're not my sire.
I am. I made you, bitch. And I gave you all kinds of drugs when you were alive. This is just another drug. It's just that now you're dead. The waiter is stood there. How much of that were you listening to? The young woman shakes her head. Maybe wait a minute, we haven't finished considering our orders yet. And the young woman scurries off. Whoops.
I want Mowbray in on this.
Well, he doesn't have a phone, as far as I know, or if he does, I don't have his number. Actually, that's not true. He had a phone. Whenever I called it, he didn't answer. I assumed that was because of you.
He has a phone.
Oh, well, now I'm just offended.
That's good.
You want him in on the decision to make you drink from me?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Well, then it's not gonna happen.
In that case, you're disobeying me again, Natalie, and bad shit will happen.
So what? This is not a deal anymore. This is a threat.
I don't want it to be a threat. I want you to see the positive side. I want you to do this because you think it's a good idea.
I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a horrible idea. I don't want to drink anything from you again. I swore that I would never do anything like that and never take anything from you. I don't care about this mission. I don't give a shit. I'm here because Mowbray told me to.
You know, it's a lot less fun forcing you. Okay, Natalie. I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna tell you. And I'm gonna do this because I care about you, and I need you to remember that. When things get hard, I need you to remember that. He puts his hand on yours.
I'm gonna try to move it away.
He clings on. There are some members of our family in this city, and they ain't nice, and you think I'm bad? They are worse. They feel like they've been left in the cold for quite some time, and they've got a bone to pick with people like us. So my advice to you, Natalie, is don't try and get chummy with the Hekata in these parts. They will take your hide. They will render you into components for their ceremonies. And they won't bat an eyelid, not that they need to. Some of them don't even have eyelids. The big question down here, Natalie, is what happened to the Giovanni in charge. Because when that Giovanni went away, all hell broke loose. The line of communication between AC and New York was done. The reports we've been hearing is some of them names like Miss Strand, Hope Dunson. They've, how is it they say? Gone a little loco. They've tasted what freedom from the family's like. And I think someone's been getting in their heads. Now, I'm no expert, but my advice to you is steer well clear of them. You understand? because I don't want to see you get hurt.
Sure.
Now we're going to enjoy this meal, or pretend to, and then I'm going to let you go. You can go back to your hotel, check on your boyfriend, John, and then tomorrow night, we're going to hook up again. And if my advice was right, you're going to owe me. And there's no ifs, buts, or maybes about that. You will owe me.
Fine. Okay.
How far is Ray from me? Because I feel like kind of grabbing onto him and then carrying off.
Yeah, he is at your feet, so yeah, you could pick him up and carry him over your shoulders in a sort of fireman's carry quite easily.
Mm-hmm. So kind of swing him over my shoulders and then start to head in the direction of Miss Strand. Not necessarily to chase her, but at least to get away from all the bullets.
Ray, do you allow this? It feels undignified, but at the same time you're not presented with many options.
Yeah, when all your choices suck, you gotta still choose, you go with the least suck. So, this is the least suck.
You feel the blood blossoming through your shirt and jacket as she pulls you up and hoists you onto her shoulders and then sprints.
God.
The glass that had stayed intact for so many years in this office shatters as bullets connect with it, and a booming voice says, "After them!" You find yourself turning through another door into a narrow corridor. There's only stairs leading up, presumably into some more office space. You run up the gantry, the clang, clang, clang of your footsteps on the metal rungs. There's more offices here. You can look down. You can see the way down into the factory. You can't see any of the gang members. You can see the body of the goateed man that you'd hurled through the air. It looks like he landed quite nastily on his neck, so he's not moving anymore. So that would imply the gangers are after you. You can duck into another office, or you can try making your way across the gantry, maybe to a window where you could dive out.
That was exactly what I was gonna suggest, is to try to find a window so that we can leave the building. It's better than to just keep hiding, because it feels like they'll eventually flush us out.
You make your way across the gantry with Ray over your shoulders, occasionally letting out cries of pain. Again, unfamiliar to you. The gang members, at least a couple of them, have joined you at this level now. They've also made their way up the stairs, and a few bullets whiz past your head. There's a window that's got partial boarding over it, but you think that with enough of a run-up you might be able to batter your way through and collapse into the road. You could give it a try.
I will do so.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to make a dice roll now. I'm going to ask you to a strength and athletics, please. If you have potence, and it can add to any kind of damage.
2 successes.
2 successes is sufficient for you to bust through the window, but not for you to bust through the window without taking some damage yourself. Thankfully it's superficial, but what it means is you've essentially got a plank of wood embedded in you from the nails, stuck in your arm as you go careening out through the window, falling 15, 20 feet down to the road. Are you planning on landing on your feet, your front, on Ray?
Of course I would try to minimize the harm to my own body, but that might be a bit difficult if I'm trying to, at the same time, not injure Ray, because I can't roll.
Yeah, I'm going to call it right now that you're either basically going to try and minimize damage to yourself, which means rolling, and that means Ray is going to take the brunt, or you're going to take the brunt by essentially landing on your feet or legs.
Yeah. So sadly, I'm gonna have to say goodbye to my kneecaps.
At least temporarily. Okay. You collide with the asphalt. Sickeningly, you hear a pop from your right knee and a crack from your left leg. It wasn't that far of a jump, but jumping 20 feet with a man on your shoulders, full-grown adult male who, when he was embraced, was a little thick around the paunch, doesn't do your legs any favours. The pain is intense and sharp, but immediately your vitae goes to work, healing the injuries. What it doesn't do is make you mobile, and so when there are footsteps, again trudging towards you, you look down the dark road, the dark street, again so dimly lit by one flickering lamp, the rest were put out years ago. You see a large man. He's a fellow of colour. He has thick dreads on top of his head and bunched up. His eyes fixate on you, Maria, and then flick upward toward Ray. Ray, you're able to get up to your feet.
Maria, are you okay?
Not exactly, no.
Me neither. I feel terrible. Ugh, I don't know what she did. It was like, I don't know. I never felt that before. We gotta get out of here.
The man that was marching towards you is now within 10 feet, and he says, Raymond Molina, right?
Who wants to know?
My name is Lubango, of the Samedi. You would be Maria, yeah?
Sure, depends on who's asking.
He looks back and forth. Only one of you needs to send a message. And from his hip, he unhooks what at first just looks like a fire extinguisher nozzle. He then pulls it with a little more force, and there's a hose behind it. Levels it very quickly at Ray and says, I've got no hard feelings towards your family. If you come back as a wraith, just remember that. And he flicks a switch, and a belch of flame just pours from the hose at his hip, and his eyes widen and delight in the fire. As Ray, a ball of flame just consumes you.
Hey, wait a minute!
With the injuries already incurred from Miss Strand's use of Oblivion, the damage from the bullets that hadn't quite healed, perhaps the surprise of not being able to put up an effective defense. When the flames lick around your clothes and you're doused in the fuel, the accelerant that also emerges from this hose isn't just fire. It's enough fuel to keep it burning on whatever it hits. It cuts through your dead flesh like a hot knife through butter. It cuts through to the bone. But vampires don't go into shock. The undead get to feel every inch of death as it crawls towards their undead hearts. And Ray, as the blast of flame knocks you back, burns your skin off your bones, eats its way towards your organs, incinerates your eyeballs. What are the thoughts that go through your head, if anything pertinent other than insults, begging, screams, and pain?
No, the last thing I think of is Bryce and the disappointment and humiliation and desperation that he felt in his last moments after he realized that I'd absolutely destroyed his life. I think about the urban decay that we saw earlier this evening and how he and I used to participate in that vicious, horrific flywheel of merciless manipulation and exploitation. It seems almost fitting that it goes this way.
As Raymond Milliner's remains crumble and fall into the road, in part showering Maria with remains, Labango cocks his head, looks at the ash. Oh no, he's all broken and on the floor. Send a message, girl. The family abandoned us, and we don't want them back. And he runs off down the road as your legs knit themselves finally together so that you can yourself climb up to your feet.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying where we played The Family, a Cults of the Blood Gods chronicle for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Cults of the Blood Gods is published by our friends at Onyx Path Publishing. Our storyteller was the gentleman gamer Matthew Dawkins, and we were also joined by Jason Carl, Klara Herbøl, and Bianca Savazzi. The music was created by Atrium Carceri, featuring many collaborations with other artists from their label Cryo-Chamber. Check them out at cryochamber.bandcamp.com and their YouTube channel for more amazing dark ambient. If you want more Vampire the Masquerade content, don't miss out on our chronicle No Man is an Island, as well as The Sacrifice for Chicago by Night. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, and David, for their generous support. And we would of course like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and see you soon again.